Hi Facebook, I'm Ellie Frost and I'm making this video about a question I was asked in my Make It Happen group about how, probably my favourite question of all time, of course, because it's what I love to do, but how can I explode my business? So I'm just going to share this in all my groups because everyone needs to hear this. Share to group. Hi guys, I'm just sharing this and just waiting to see if anyone hops on. Make it happen, unleash your first vision. Hi Ella. Just going to share it to my page as well. Can't see where it's saying page. Okay. I like the love hearts. I'm going to see if anyone else jumps on it, and I can't seem to share it to my business page, but that's no big deal. Okay, so let's see. Hi guys. So, share to page here, got it. Yes. I've got so many places now online, it's like crazy. Let's do, okay, job done. Okay, so this is a question I get asked all the time and it's my favourite question ever, and I just got asked it in the Make It Happen group, which is why I'm making the video. But the question is, how do I explode my business? How do I go from incremental growth to exponential growth, which is, of course, like the magic thing. And obviously I run my online coaching business and I also have the personal branding agency here in LA, which is all about exponential growth. How do you go from where you are to like being a really big brand or a really big personal brand, and really kind of explode your growth? So there's a few things that I want to say on it. The first thing is, you need to get, and obviously I've exploded a lot of brands, like that's been my background, is taking people from, you know, wherever they are and seen some really huge expansions. So the first thing is to get really specific about, well, what does that mean? What kind of growth do I want? So think of it in terms of numbers, like number of people you want to impact, and obviously revenue goals. But the other thing to get really clear on is explode in what way? Like, what is it you want to be doing? What do you love to do? What are you passionate about? You know, what does that growth need to look like for you personally? So that's about, okay, so is it speaking? Is it writing? Is it teaching? Is it online programs? Is it business ventures? And start mapping out what they are, like what would like light you up on that front. So when you want to explode, know how you want to explode, not how you think you should explode, but actually like what lights you up, what way do you want to see that doing? And then think about the kind of impact and what that means to you. What does explode mean to you? Like, how many customers, how many clients, how much audience, what does it mean? Does it mean so many people coming to your speaking events? Does it mean so many people buying your books? So get really clear as you can on that target. The second thing you absolutely have to do is raise your profile, right? So there's a few things about raising your profile, and there's reasons why it works and there's reasons why it doesn't work. So the thing about raising your profile is positioning is absolutely crucial, right? So how you position yourself and your message is going to be the kind of key thing that's going to determine like how big you explode. So that positioning piece, that brand piece, whatever you want to call it, is absolutely crucial. So the way to know how to position yourself is to look at those targets you've got that I just talked about, and then think about the highest vision that you've got in terms of an aspirational statement that you stand for at the highest level, right? That you can position yourself as. And yeah, it's good to look at the market, and yeah, it's good to know what your unique qualities are, what discriminates you, what is really unique about you that you can use in your positioning, right, to stand out. So it does usually require being bold. It does require really knowing what you're about and what you're prepared to stand for, because you are going to have to stand for that stuff. It does require looking outside at what's out there and how you show up differently, or you want to show up differently to that. But that positioning is absolutely key, because that's really what sets you apart. That's what's going to get like media interest and all that kind of stuff as you start to increase your profile. And you have to increase your profile if you want to explode, there's no doubt about it. So how can you become a bigger authority in your area? How can you reach more people? How can you get more credibility and more influence? Well, definitely by expanding your profile, but only in the right way. So part of that is also understanding, well, who's my audience, right? Getting really clear about that and making sure that you're only speaking to that audience. And a lot of the time when I take clients on in the agency, they've got big followings, right? But they want to go into kind of a bigger brand. So they want to like expand even further. So that involves sometimes talking to a wider audience, actually opening up that audience. So you've got to decide who that audience is at the next level and how you can talk to them and not alienate your existing audience. How you can have this kind of broader vision that encompasses all of it. So think about the highest potential for your vision. Think about what you want to be known for. Think about what you stand for at the highest level, and how you can position yourself as that now. Now, that's not about being inauthentic. That's not about saying things that aren't true. It's just about thinking from that outcome and positioning yourself as the person with that vision now that's here to do that thing, that aspirational thing. A vision has to be aspirational. Your positioning should be as a game changer at the next level, changing something, standing for something in a new, different, inspiring way, ideally. So that's what that's about. So it's about looking at the person who's achieved those things that I just identified when I got specific on what I wanted and what exploding means to me. How do they show up? Like, what are they doing? What do they really stand for? How would they position themselves? That's the thing to get clear on. And then it's about looking at, okay, so how could I raise my profile? So there's so many ways, like media, obviously, press, blogs, online, collaborations with other influencers, people that you respect, who've got the same values, that you could both kind of create a win-win and elevate both of your profiles is a good idea often. So there's many ways. So start identifying how you want to do it, but make sure they're in alignment with how you like to work. There's no point doing things that aren't going to light you up, that you're going to just like burn out over. So it's about expanding your profile in a way that, makes you feel good. So identifying, well, if I was already playing at that level, or you can like journal on that, now I am that leader that impacts thousands or millions of people and that is doing like world tours or writes books. What do I spend my time doing? And then start finding ways to do that now, right? So start finding ways to show up on the places that you want to be seen, or at least in the same way. So if you'd be predominantly talking, then that's what you've got to start doing now. It's about implementing those things and using them to raise profile. But any way you raise profile positioned right to the right audience for that next level is the right way to go. The other stuff is like, what do you stand for? So how can you stand for that vision in a bigger way? So would you be involved in like social projects? Would you be helping out things in your community? I don't know. It depends what your vision is. But how can you really demonstrate to the world that you stand in a bigger way? So there's the typical ways to elevate, which are things like media, press, PR, collaborations, partnerships with other people. You could like do online kind of partnerships, offline partnerships, online events, offline events with other people. So you're making the most of both of your networks, as long as the networks align with your audience and values. But there's also like, well, what could I do in the world, right? What could I do in society? Is there, is there something to do with my vision? Is it about making a positive impact in a certain way that I could like also maybe align with some charities or some other things? So look at all those things. How can you really demonstrate you stand for that in the world in a bigger way? The next thing is, if you want to explode your business, you must find ways to give more value to more people, which sounds obvious, but that's really the point, right? So how can you give more value to more people? And obviously, content can be king in that. If you've been creating content, then you can use it in new ways. You can repurpose it. You can use it in other ways on new platforms. But you've got to find ways to give more value to more people. So that's the biggest kind of next initiative. How can I give more value to more people? And if that could be locally. If you've got a local business, how can I give more value to more people? Find ways to do that, because that is part of it. And obviously a lot of the time, if you find social ways to impact or ways to give more value to more people, that makes you more newsworthy, that makes you more interesting to any kind of media or anything like that you're trying to get the attention of. So how can I give more value to more people? And then also, how can I leverage that and showcase my brand and showcase what I'm about through that? The next thing is, you actually, in today's modern world, like right now, you need to be entertaining, not just engaging. So before, I think brands, especially personal brands, they kind of, as long as they were engaging, they'd be okay. But a lot of the brands that were established a while ago, they're quite vanilla actually to what's required, I think, in this environment that we've got right now, right? So if you really want to explode right now, you've got to be more than just engaging. You've got to entertain. Like the demand from the audience or from just in general is, we want entertainment. We want a high level of interaction and engagement that we've never seen before, actually. So you've got to bring all of you to the table. You've got to bring your personality. You've got to bring your quirks. You've got to bring your crazy shit in some ways, and not exaggerate it, not be inauthentic, but know that entertainment is a requirement now from consumers, from audiences, from followers. They want more than just to be educated and inspired. They want those things too, but they also must be entertained. So find ways to entertain. That doesn't mean you have to tell jokes. It doesn't mean you have to do anything in particular, except be mindful that, it could be the way you present things is entertaining. You could be like just clever about how you present, but know that engagement isn't quite enough anymore. Like, you've got to be entertaining as well. So that's another key kind of principle that I'm talking to with my clients. The next bit is adopt the beliefs, adopt the mindset, get in the mentality of the person who's already achieved all those things, who's already playing at that level. What would I believe now that I'm that next level leader, now that I'm doing all those things, right? What do I believe? How do I show up? What do I now know? What would I be doing? What would I always be doing? What would I never be doing? What would I finally be doing? And what would I stop doing, right? Because then you can look at that, and those things are the things you need to do now. So if you say, well, at my next level, I wouldn't be seeing one-on-one clients. I'd just run courses or events and be speaking. Then you've got to find a way to do that now. You've got to actually start integrating that now, because it only comes at the minute you decide, and you actually become it by doing it now, by deciding it now. So if you decide the next level leader or the next level to explode your business, when you're at that level, when you look at those goals I talked about at the beginning, and you see how you'd be showing up, and you can say to yourself, well, now I'm playing at that level. How do I spend my time, right? How would that person spend their time? And in a way that you feel excited about. So you might have to let go of some of the ways in which you're working, if that makes sense to you, in order to step into it. But it really does require you to step into it now. So maybe some people would be getting like, they'd give up, part of what they're doing day to day, and they might just be speaking and running events and writing, for example. So you've got to find ways to do that now. You've got to find ways to put that in now. That's how you show up as it. So you position yourself properly. You know the elements that it takes to position yourself, speak to your key audience, get the right vision, make it broad enough and compelling enough and interesting enough. Be really specific about what you would be doing at that next level, and you have to to obviously start doing those things straight away. So you've got to find ways to, one, monetize that, which is totally possible, and two, be it now, like literally put yourself in that environment straight away. So that's what I wanted to share. If you've got any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a great day.